been a part of the Rex furniture for 14 years, did you say?
Almost, yeah.
Almost 14 years. Rex is a software that I've actually got a little bit of history with myself, because the guys that started Rex learned how, or started doing Rex off the back of my old father-in-law, which is interesting. Yeah, they really? Yep. So Rex is obviously the CRM that plenty of the real estate space uses. Peter, hilariously, has managed to pivot in typical technology fashion that he has, and he's now going to talk to us about how your boring CRM can double your business. Would everybody like to double their business? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. I can sense a little bit of apathy creeping in. Let's double our money, shall we? It's probably going to be a good idea. So without further ado, please, hands together for Peter Bongiorni.
Thank you, everyone. Do I get a book for being the presenter that had the most shout-outs from everyone else in the room? Because it's happened.
Sure.
Great. Excellent. No, thanks everyone, it's great to be here. As Andy alluded to, I have done a major pivot because my new friend Tristan from CoreLogic, who has disappeared, I know he's at the back of the room there, he started talking about databasing, and half of his slide deck looked very similar to the content that I was going to share. So over the lunch break, my good friend ChatGPT and I have created a brand new pitch deck. We created some brand new content, and then I've had my creative director up on the Sunshine Coast create a new pitch deck, and I saw it for the first time about 10 minutes ago while I was sitting there listening. So we'll see how this goes. But yes, I do want to talk about how using your CRM is going to help double your GCI, make you and your team more productive, and be more efficient and effective. I'm also going to get you all to get out your phones because I've got Slidos. So hopefully that's working. It is. Great. So get out your phones, get onto the QR code. There's like 40 odd people in the room. I want to see a bunch of responses up here. What is the first word that comes to mind when you think of your CRM? What do we got? Nothing yet. So if I see CRM question mark and people going, what is a CRM? You have to leave the room. Boring, admin, necessary evil. I've seen those come up. Pain. Wow. Who said that?
It's anonymous for a reason.
Expensive, opportunities. There's a good one, opportunities. My favourite word, database. They're way more than a database if you use it properly, but they are indeed a database. EDMs, a chore.
Underutilized should be up there.
Underutilized, yeah, they definitely are. I mean, 97.5% of the data in them is not being touched, hey? All right, so primarily not exciting words. You know, if you use it properly, they can actually be really effective. And towards the back end of this, I do have something from my original pitch that has remained in here about a case study from one of our customers. But yeah, let's dive into it. We want to look at ways of taking away the pain, the chore, the time-consuming nature of it all, I guess, and turn it into a machine that you guys can use to generate more revenue. Now, what is the ROI of your CRM and what is it worth? You know, a premium CRM could be costing you $100 per user a month, but if it helps everyone on the team just sell one more listing, it's paid for itself tenfold easily. And when you're using it properly, if you're investing in automation, you can free up hours of time on admin. You can free up time to spend more time with your family or to be in front of more clients. So using the tools that you all have in your offices, whether it's Rex or something else, will allow you to be way more efficient and effective with your time. So how confident are you that you're getting the full ROI from your CRM? By the way, there's about 9 or 10 of these Slidos, so keep your phone out. We're staying interactive, got to keep you awake. I know I'm near the end of the day. It's been a long day with some really good content. We got a 3. Got a couple more people logging on now, that's good.
Is this our new CRM or our old CRM?
Just the current CRM, all right? I think there are a few Rex customers in the room, so hopefully they're on the upper end of this graph when we get there. So 2 to 3, not really high scores, and that's pretty accurate, right? We can see that a big chunk of our customers only use a tiny percentage of the product. Now, that percentage changes from customer to customer. For some of them, the tiny like 30-40% that they're using, and for me that's pretty tiny, it means that they are, well, for the ones that I'm talking about at least, the 30 or 40% that they're using is really effective for them. A lot of the reason why we bring customers across to Rex is that they're not using anywhere near 30 or 40% of the product that they're using. They're portal uploads, brochures, sending out a buyer match, and that's about it. Right? So if you're not using it effectively, what is the value that you're getting? And if you are down on those low numbers, like again, it's pretty common in the industry that that's the case. Your CRM should remind you of some very basic things, and a couple of people have spoken about this today. Who are you calling? When are you calling them? And why are you calling them? All right? It's all about those three things, the who, the when, and the why, and making sure that you're nurturing that database, making sure that no lead ever slips through the cracks, and using the CRM to do the heavy lifting for you. So you don't want to be like doing it the hard way. Like I was talking to a new customer on Friday, and she's coming across from the world's best CRM, Microsoft Excel. So she's using her Excel database. It's all right. I brought someone across from a diary last year. So like as Andy said, I've been at Rex 14 years. The first customer I sold onto the product were using ledger cards. 14 years ago, that was acceptable. In 2024, 2025, using a manual system is crazy, right? And so they're still out there. They are your competition, right? Leverage the tools that you have to be better and to do better, all right? So how much is a lead costing you, or how much does a mislead cost you, I should say? So, you know, we've all been there. A buyer turns up at an open home, you have a great chat with them, you exchange the details, and then life happens, right? You get busy, you forget to follow up, or they're a buyer, right? And so they haven't got anything to sell, you don't want to follow them up. A couple of people have spoken about this today as well. And there's a reason that I'm talking about it. They've been talking about it. It's going back to the basics, right? The basics of real estate, the fundamentals haven't changed in the 15 years that I've been involved in the industry. And when I talk to people that have been involved for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 50 years ago they were doing this, they were just doing it manually. Get on the phone, call the people, tell them something useful, build relationships. It's really not that hard, right? And so in today's market, the buyers, the sellers, they have more choices than ever. They're being courted by multiple agents. They're seeing properties across multiple platforms, and they're making decisions faster than you would expect, probably faster than you're able to get back to them. So leverage the technology that you have at your fingertips to help you to stay top of mind and keep in front of them. All right, another Slido. How many leads do you think are slipping through the cracks in your business every month?
Where's the too many button?
We'll go with 10 plus is too many, I think, there. So a few 0 to 5, a few 6 to 10, a few 10 plus. Like that's money. Those numbers are money that you are losing right now, right? How much money? I don't know. What's the average commission here in Melbourne? Like, is it 15, is it 20? I know my slide says 20K, right? You lose one lead a month, every month of the year. It's just under $250,000 gone. I would like to see that in my pocket, not in someone else's. Or for my customers, I want to see it in their pocket and not someone else's, right? And so that one lead that you've lost every single month is $250,000. And there were some of you saying 10 plus leads a month, right? $2.4 million gone. just because you're not following up, not doing the basics of getting on the phone, sending out the emails, sending the texts, and talking to the people. Again, so every lead that's followed up, it's about getting to them at the right time, right? So setting reminders, setting up automations, and setting up nurture sequences, right? The best agents are not remembering to follow up in their head, though there are a few freaks out there that definitely fit into that category. They're in the less than 1%. The really good agents, whether they're doing it themselves or they have a PA that does the technology piece for them, they're setting up reminders, they're setting up these automations, they're setting up nurture campaigns, or what we call tracks in recs, to make sure that every single lead, every single customer, every single potential customer is being followed up at the right time, right? And let's be honest, like agents, that there's this common disbelief, and this is in my experience, that from some tech providers, none in the room, but some tech providers, that agents are lazy, right? And sure, there's a small percentage that are, but for me, I don't think that agents are lazy. I think that what is happening is they don't follow up because they get busy with the immediately hot leads that they have to deal with, right? And so they're focusing on those hot leads and the stuff that's going to sell the list in the moment. They then neglect the long-term prospecting and the nurture that they need to be doing, right? They don't have a system in place that actually helps them to do that effectively. Or when they are getting onto those longer term follow-up calls, they don't know what to say in that initial conversation because they haven't got a note or anything that says what they spoke about last time. And so it's just like this reminder pops up and it's like, call Steve. Who the hell is Steve? Why am I calling Steve? Does Steve owe me money? Is he going to list? Right? Like, if you don't have the context behind the reminder, what are you going to say to them? What value are you going to bring and give to that conversation and to that person so that they will want to list with you? Right? So what's the fix? You automate a bunch of the reminders and have a sequence that's set up in your CRM. Right? And so that way nothing falls through the cracks. Systemize it. Have a framework. How you treat a hot prospect, a warm prospect, or a cold prospect is going to be different from each other. Hot buyers and sellers are going to have different types of follow-up. No, not for me? All right. I just saw you come over, you freaked me out. All right. Where was I? Hot buyers, hot sellers, like how you follow up a hot prospect versus a cold prospect is going to be different. So set that up in your CRM. Make sure there's that distinction. Have those different points of contact at the, a cold prospect at the 1 month mark, at the 3 month mark, at the 6 month mark versus the hot one that you're going to be contacting every other day or whatever the case may be. Set that up, systemize your outreach, and then let your CRM help you to do that. And make sure you're touching base with value-driven touch points. Like, enough has been said about AI. There's enough information out there about it. I'm not going to talk about it ad nauseum. Like, you can use AI to help you augment what you're doing to have to make sure that you've got valuable and value-driven touch points when you're talking to people. All right, who doesn't want to win more listings? If anyone in this room says, nah, I don't want more listings, just give your license back to well, it's not the Office Fair. Them, right? It's Office Fair trading in Queensland. It's different down here. All right, so here we go. What do you think is the number one reason a vendor chooses you over another agent? I'd love to see this. Is that what it says? That's not my, okay, this is what happens when I do things on the fly in the lunch break here. All right, but anyway, what's the number one reason you think vendors choose another agent over you? All right, still love to hear that. Connection, price, relationships. Okay, Siri, the AI has taken over. Price, all right. Transparency and trustworthy. Cheaper marketing fee. Interesting. So, I didn't actually say what I do at Rex. So I'm currently the Director of Customer Experience, so I actually look after existing customers, but up until October last year, I had been, for the first 13 and a half years of my time at Rex, running the sales team. So selling to real estate agents is basically what I've done for the last decade plus. And I kind of practice what I'm preaching here. We don't use Rex at Rex because I'm not selling houses, we're selling software. But we have in our CRM, like, the equivalent of the tracks. Constant follow-up and reminders. Every 3 months, ask Emily. Every 3 months, I will get on the phone and have a conversation. You might have told me, excuse the language, to fuck off. I'm still going to call you in 3 months because you might have been having a shit day. You might have had a deal fall over, right? Unless you say, take me off your database, you're going to hear from me in 3 months. That's how agents need to be. You need to be adding value, you need to be consistent, right? The consistent one is the one that's going to win the business. The number of times I've heard people say, Pete, Rex is more expensive, but we went with you because you're the one that we've heard from for every 3 months for the last 2 years. Haven't heard from insert competitor name here since the demo. That's why. It's consistency. It's just follow the basics, get in front of people, and it's the same across all sales, right? It's not just software sales, it's real estate, right? So be consistent, get in front of people, make sure you're constantly following up with them. Don't rely on your memory, like I said before. This looks like the same slide. No, it's slightly different. Okay, so yeah, don't rely on memory. Get in front of them. Make sure you're tracking your sellers, sending out useful nurture content, and getting them on some kind of list where they're getting alerts, right? So you've got functionality in your CRMs to do that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what's the difference? What's something that separates that 500K agent from the $1 million agent? What's that mindset? It's not luck. Sometimes, generally not, right? It's the daily habits that they commit to. It's that consistency. It's picking up the phone, it's sending the emails, it's the regular contact, it's letting your system help you do that on an automated structure, and it's the constant prospecting. So, how structured is your daily prospecting and follow-up? Are you doing what James Tosterman does and has been teaching for ages? Are you calling 100 people a day, blocking out 3-4 hours of your day every day, contacting people, right? Is that how you're doing it? Or is 30 minutes, 5 connects, is that where we're at, right? So 1 being bad, 5 being good. Hopefully that's how you've gone with that. If not, oh well. Bit of a mixed bag, to be honest, but trending downwards, right? So again, it's all about having those systems in place. It's time blocking the follow-ups, right? Don't have half an hour here. Don't just say, oh, if I've got a free spot in my calendar, that's when I'm going to do it. Like, actually block out the time so that you can get into your CRM and get on top of the contacts that you need to contact every day, right? Set a schedule for the calls, the texts, the emails. Don't context switch either, right? Smash out your calls, then do your emails, then do your texts. Or get a CRM that can automate your emails and texts like Rex, because then you don't have to worry about doing them. You just push a button and they go. Right? Have something that's got smart lead tracking. Like, make sure you've got context of every conversation, every interaction that you've had with that contact, so that when you're picking up the phone and you're having that conversation, you don't need to think about the conversation. You know the touch points. You know if they have children. You know what their children's names are. If they have pets, having that information top of mind when you're making that call makes your life easier. And have that consistent email and SMS nurture, which again, a good CRM will be able to automate that for you. So you just set it up once on a contact when they come in. Are they hot, warm, cold, or what? Red, amber, green, whatever is your way of identifying your contacts and the different categories that they're in, and just let the system automate those touch points, and then remind you when you need to call them, right? Because who said it? I did write this down. Tristan, actually. Maybe you're going to get a book for the shout-outs I'm giving you. But he said, we don't have robots making calls. Wrong. I have a customer who has integrated into our API a tool that calls his prospects for him. He's more of a software developer than he is a real estate agent, but he has done that. So the technology exists. He has built in via our API the ability to automatically send voicemails to people and automatically have conversations with people with a different tool. That technology is not in 6 months, in 12 months. It was here about 6 months ago, right? It's just not widespread, but it's here, right? So we can automate a bunch of that stuff. We might be able to automate phone calls in the future. It's pretty expensive technology right now. I can't get out of a talk about a CRM without an AI plug, right? So again, it's not a futuristic concept. It exists already. It's already transforming the way that some agents are working. You've got that there, right? It can handle all the time-consuming tasks, right? When the voice technology and the phone technology comes, it may be able to handle some of those entry-level phone calls. It's not going to take away from the fact that you need to get in front of a vendor or a buyer and actually own that relationship. So let the AI, let the CRM, let the technology handle what it can handle and free up your time so that you are in front of your customers, right? Building that relationship and being consistent and persistent with the follow-up that you're doing with them. Now, I think I tweaked this. Yeah, good, it's come through. Other than ChatGPT or the similar models, because it was going to say, who's using AI? And then that question's already been asked and answered a bunch of times. So other than ChatGPT, are you using AI in your business? Because ChatGPT is great. Like I said, I've kind of repivoted this whole pitch with ChatGPT in an hour, so I'm not going to knock ChatGPT.
I often use ChatGPT, aka I'm using the AI to explain to me the teeth in AI. It's so weird.
It's great for instructions.
Cool. Why not?
How do I use this? What do I do?
So good. There's lots of yeses in the room, a few no's. Excellent. It's good to hear. Good to see. We can chat about what you're doing at another point. It'd be good to understand what some of the other tech is. But let's talk about some ways that AI can make your life easy. Add text. Are there any copywriters in the room? Yeah, that's a dying industry, isn't it? Right? Add text. It's pretty basic. Is that a question? No? So, yeah, just based on the data that's in your CRM, you push a button, it pulls in information around local high schools, around all schools, high schools, public amenities, at least the way that we've implemented it. So the way we've implemented it is instead of just going, here's a property that's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, whatever, it pulls that information and it has 30 different prompts in the back end that go into the OpenAI, which OpenAI powers ChatGPT, into the OpenAI API to actually prompt it for you. So someone was talking about prompt engineering before, it was AJ just before actually, right? Most real estate agents are not AI prompt engineers. If that's not already a uni degree, it probably will be very soon, right? We've taken the hard part out of that for you, built it into the CRM, and that's what your CRM should be doing for you, right? Make it simple. You push a button, an ad gets generated. You push another button, make it shorter, make it longer. Tailor it to a first home buyer. Tailor it to an investor. It changes what's in there, right? All of that's been pre-prompted so that you don't need to worry about doing it, right? Smarter, more personalized client follow-up. Same kind of thing if you're using Gmail or the Google Suite, Gemini's now in that. They've had that, started rolling that out a couple months ago. We beat Google. How cool's that? We had it in Rex before Google had it in Gmail, right? So having AI inside of your CRM for client communication, just to make sure that what you're sending out to a customer is the right thing. You don't need to think. I sometimes do think that AI is going to make the next generation dumber because they're not going to actually use their brains. They're just going to prompt stuff into ChatGPT. But we'll see. And then getting quick access to data inside of your CRM. So most CRMs give you the ability to search for the information that you're looking for, right?
Head southeast.
Hey Siri.
Kidding.
Most CRMs let you give you the ability to search for information inside of their platforms. Problem is, as agents, you're barely using the CRM effectively, and that's facts. And we're actually, the way that we're engineering new features is to try and automate as much as possible and actually reduce the time that our customers are in the CRM, which is kind of counterintuitive, but it's not. But that aside is like trying to work out how to find the hot buyers that I met at an open home last week that are within 500,000 to 600,000. I'm in Melbourne, where is it 500,000? That is between 1.5 million and $2 million that are looking for 5+ bedrooms, right? To filter that in your CRM takes time that agents don't generally have, or they don't know how to do that. And so we've put in a feature where on a device like on a MacBook, you can just tap the command key and Siri will come up and you just go, hey, not hey Siri, because all your phones and watches will hear me say that, but basically you can talk into it, or you can just type in using natural language, hey, show me all of the buyers that are 1.5 to 2 million, etc. And instead of having to add in like 20 different filters, they just come up. And you can push a button and email them all. You can push a button to text them all. You can create a call list from that to get on the phone and speak to them. So this is how we've been implementing AI in our CRM, and that's what you need from your CRM providers is like AI that's helpful and useful to help reduce your time in the product, get on the phone and be in front of the people that you need to be in front of. All right. So another Slido. What's one part of your workflow where you think AI could save you time? Is it listing ads? Is it emails? I mean, having an AI call people would be pretty cool. Like I said, it exists. Just don't know if it's quite ready for mass adoption. Admin. Texting, marketing. Designing flyers, so lots of marketing stuff. Okay. Ooh. Agreement, signboard, processing, research, planning. Dealing with office politics. How would that work?
I reckon if you had good.
That was my listing. No, it was my listing. You know what? If the data wasn't in Rex, it doesn't exist. Whoever puts the data in the CRM, that's who gets the listing. That's how you deal with that. Cool. Let's talk about a real-world impact with a customer of ours. Skip that. All right, too many sliders. All right, so Presence Real Estate in Newcastle. Some of you might know them. Mark Canwell's the guy that owns Presence. They basically, we met with Ryan, who's the guy on the right, who runs a team within Presence. So he has a pretty big team. He's a partner within the business. He uses the very basics of Rex in the best possible way I've ever seen a customer use it. All right? Not using any of the cool stuff at the time we went and had this conversation to build out this testimonial and case study, though they are starting to use that stuff now. But when it comes to what I was talking about, setting the reminders, the nurture sequences, having the system send out emails automatically, having the system send out the text automatically, and just picking up the phone when it told you to call them, nailing it, right? It's not hard, it's not rocket science. And each person on his team, based on doing it the hard way, was saving 25 hours per week. Now, if they were only working a 40-hour week, that's massive. More than half of their week has been saved so they can do more dollar productive stuff like talking to customers on the phone, right? They use the mobile CRM, so we've got an app like most CRMs do, right? Use it out in the field. Do what you need to do out in the field. Improved accountability, so he had visibility on every single thing that his team was doing, every call that they made, every conversation that they were having, everything gets logged, every piece of feedback from buyers so that it gets reported back to vendors, like full visibility. And basically he worked out, or we helped him work out, that all of this accounted to 10x of productivity, right? So what would you be doing, or what would your team be doing if they were 10 times more productive? Probably listing and selling more and spending more time with their family, right? Or traveling. Whatever their go-to, their reason, their why for being in real estate, they'll do the real estate part more effectively and make more money so they can have more time for their why. And that's what it's about. So your CRM has to be set up to work for you and not against you, right? And some of them, they're not great at that. So you need to make sure that whoever you partner with is going to help take you to that next level. It enables you to do the basics effectively and really, really well, but also like gets you across some cool stuff in the AI space and other things to help drive efficiency. I think we're all done with Slidos and I'm conscious of everyone's time. So I just want to finish with your CRM isn't just a tool. Right? It's a business growth strategy. If you're using it effectively, it will help you to be more productive. It will help you to double your GCI or more. So yeah, thank you for your time. If anyone wants to chat afterwards, happy to have a chat. But yeah, I'll hand over now to Mr. Reid to wrap things up.
Peter.
Yeah.
One question I got.
One question, all right.
25% of the people in this room aren't using AI. I'd just like to know why.
So for those that didn't hear, apparently 25% of you, other than ChatGPT, are not using any AI, and everyone wants to know why.
Yeah, I'm not being rude, but just why would that be? What would be the reason?
Comes across too confusing.
Comes across too confusing?
Fear of change.
Sorry, fear of change?
That's been one big thing that I've been having conversations about. People's just fear of letting go of control.
So what you're saying is we really need, as an industry, to help them step by step integrate AI into their workflows.
Big time. Baby steps.
Yep.
Baby steps. Any more questions for Peter? I think it's safe to say he's tremendously knowledgeable. If he's been in the game for that long, you would have seen a stack of change. So much change. What questions have we got?
I'm just going back to the AI question.
Yeah.
We do use it a little bit, not as much as we could, but I think there's a lack of direction. Like we're told, use it. Well, how do we use
Exactly. Baby steps.
Yeah, I'm just interested to, so we can build education around that to help people, help the industry, move forward with it.
I was sort of going to get your take on this, Pete, because because obviously, as you were saying, that we're trying to make it so that you guys can intuitively use it less, right? But then it becomes, then the narrative starts to change from, oh geez, are you just going to start to not need us and all this sort of stuff. And they get that fear thing based off that side of it as well, right?
So we're dealing with that right now, right? There are, maybe not in this room, hopefully not, but there are like plugins that use our API to tap into our data, that, our customers' data in the CRM, that are charging 3 or 4 times more per month than the CRM per user cost is, that everyone raves about, but if they didn't have the CRM with the data that they're entering, none of those plugins would work. And they can do half of what the plugins do inside, like half of those plugins are redundant, but they're just shiny and have great marketing and people use them. Right, so we have that challenge now, and that's something that we're working towards with customers is, how do we get to that point where we can provide the value, but without them actually being in the product as much as they need, as they currently are, and how do we make sure they understand that value? That is something we're working through right now. So it's constant, yeah.
Constant, because then as soon as they think they've got it sorted, the next evolution comes, or the next change, or the next step, and so on and so forth. And that's where, the volume of changes that come about through all of this makes it very, very difficult to keep up. So you think, geez, I'm struggling to get to this bit, and now they've got to learn this bit now. And it gets really, really difficult, right? It gets very, very challenging to actually feel like you can keep up with it enough to make it worthwhile, right? It makes it very, very difficult. That's where you've got to tap into lads like this, because this is his job, right? It's his job to know all this sort of stuff. It's impossible for us to do our job and keep up with this stuff. It's not possible. Stop trying. Use people like Peter. Yeah, that's what he's there to do.
Just on that, like one of our customers did an audit of their tech stack. And they removed, I think it was 8 or 9 different subscriptions that were all connected to Rex, because Rex would do everything that those systems did. Now, albeit, were the newsletters as pretty from our system as they are from a dedicated newsletter system where they're investing millions of dollars a year just into a newsletter system? No. But do the customers that they're sending those emails to actually give a shit? Also no. Right? So they were getting the same outcomes. They were able to save something like $14,000 a year on subscriptions, right? By just removing a whole bunch of stuff that was plugged in because it was shiny and pretty and had really great marketing when it launched, and it plugged into the CRM, but it wasn't really adding any value that the CRM couldn't provide.
We agents are notorious for going for the nice new shiny thing, right? We are so notorious for that, and there's so much technology that's just there for it being their sake, right? Look, if I were you, because AJ mentioned this as well, get your tech stack audited pronto. Absolutely, and not just talking about your laptop or your desktop tech stack or your office tech stack, or your apps as well. Get all your apps, get that thrown into your tech stack audit, and realise that you'll be paying so much money in subscriptions that are just not necessary. So critical. Pete, thank you so much, man. Absolutely brilliant. Right, we've got a few minutes left. With Chris, are you going to come and show us some Gamma app stuff?
I think what we'll do with Chris's Gamma app, because to show it justice, is what we'll get Chris to do it. I'll do a video with you, Chris,
well,
and then we'll distribute it out.
Let's catch up next week.
I've got a full demo, so we'll add it to all the links we send out, and I've got some freebies there that we can share. And all I'd encourage is, if you get some time over the next day or two, jump on gamma.app, and the demo we're going to send you, just register. It's free. You'll get a certain amount of free credit to begin with. I'll be honest with you, the paid version is the best version. It's $180 per annum. But if you work out what you're probably paying a web developer or designer to design landing pages for you, call to actions, websites, this will do all that for you, okay? So we'll send, because I need a good half an hour, mate, and I'm just conscious of everyone.
You know what? You've actually done an entire recording that's online inside of Business by Design with Tony on Gamma app.
Okay, yeah.
So make sure that you send that.
Yeah, I'll send that. And we've also got, I'll send you all a list of AI and tech-related tools that were spoken about here and our last year conference. So there's I think there's about 30 or 40, Tony put most of it together. 30 or 40 items there and links to it, so you can have a look at that as well. I'll make sure everybody gets that.
What I would do with that big list though, is with each one, throw it into something straightforward like a ChatGPT and ask it, what does this thing do for me?
Yep.
Because you get blinded by all the fancy websites and all the jargon and all the crap, right? Throw each one into ChatGPT and say, what can this do for my business? I do comparisons. Whenever I'm looking at product, software products and all that, I'll get ChatGPT to do product comparisons for me all the time. Because it saves me so much hassle and effort and faffing around trying to decipher through all of the fancy marketing and the shiny stuff to actually get to the nuts and bolts of what it does. So I would do that if I were you. It looks like then we're going to call it a day. Has everybody got some value out of this?
Have one final word, if that's all right.
Before everyone scoots off, I just wanted to say thank you to this great team for hosting. Finally gets me first take the time out of your day. thank you to each and every one of you for being here today and taking time out of your busy days to work on your businesses. It's just as important as working in our businesses. To our partners, our suppliers, everybody who presented, Peter, you know, everybody, Ken, for all your efforts. This is my first time putting on a conference and event as a country leader of a model. I'll tell you what. It's unbelievable the amount of work that goes into it.
It's a bit of an effort.
Phenomenal. But thank you for attending. I just wanted to wrap up and conclude with our model at the heartbeat epicenter of what we do. Collaboration is number one. So you're probably taking in a lot of this stuff today going, where do I even start with all this tech stuff, right? We've got online communities, we've got these little ecosystems where we as everyday industry agents actually collaborate, support, train and mentor each other in all this stuff. The links that Ken will send you will link you to some of the community and ecosystems of training and support that we provide as industry agents. I still transact to this day myself. I've got opens this weekend. So a lot of the tech we're going to share with you is what we are as everyday industry agents, not outsourcing and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to get somebody else to do it, because not everyone has that capital. It's actually us training on the ground and implementing it into our businesses. And that's what we'll share with you guys. So thank you.